started. I think we're officially live. It is Tuesday, June 3rd. Welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I do streams on sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and social justice. It is a beautiful June summer day, and the sun is out finally after so many horrid months of just gloom. And I'm excited to get into today's live stream. It is going to be about 2.5 hours of just news that happened last week. I tried live streaming this news last Tuesday, but the Wi-Fi wasn't working. I'm gonna get into the personal reasons behind improvements of live stream and like why I do this and stuff. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how the live stream functions. So I'm kind of a type A, very organized live streamer. I have an agenda. So this is in the description. It's a Canva deck. And basically, you can find my social medias here. But I always start off the live stream at 4, and then I immediately go into sustainable fashion news, and then I take a break, if I remember. And then I do talk about social issues, environmentalism, positive news, stuff like that. I usually kind of forget about like social issue news because I'm so tired by the end of the live stream. So I try my best, but I'm not perfect. You can't cover the world in 2.5 hours. And then I love going into fashion shows and like gaming and stuff like that. This used to be my old schedule. I am going to start live streaming Tuesday and Thursday for the news from 4 to 6:30 Central Time. I'll be updating everyone on the new schedule. I already have it on my Twitter. If you don't follow my Twitter is Elle Magana, so you can see my new schedule there. I'm gonna start gaming. I just got my PC system. It's right underneath my desk. I assembled it yesterday, or by assembled I mean like I just took it out of the box. But yeah, I will have a better system right now. But if you guys ever want to submit anything for me to talk about, so for example, this upcoming Thursday, you can just fill that out and I'll look at it. And if it aligns to like sustainable fashion, environmentalism, or like social issues that I think are relevant and important, I will definitely cover that. But yeah, going into personal news before I talk about what's been happening in the fashion industry, I do, like I said, have a PC coming in and functioning now underneath my room, underneath my desk in my room. I don't really know how PCs function, so I'm kind of nervous. I don't even know how to explain what I'm up to right now, but I just got it out of the box yesterday. I was gonna work on it or with it today, but yeah, I just did not do that. I did not get to it. I've been focusing a lot on Depop. As you may or may not know, I'm a Depop reseller. I've decided to do that full time until I find another full-time job outside of social media to cover bills, or if I'm able to find something that pays the bills. Depop is just going to be the option that I go towards to make money right now, because there's no other like plan B or C or whatever. So yeah, I actually do have an interview this Thursday. It's for a middle school to be working with their media. It doesn't pay that much, and it's for a 9-month contract, which I'm not a big fan of. I am a bit notorious of quitting, but when it comes to like a $16 an hour job, it's just it's kind of it just doesn't sit right to me that people expect you to be there for 9 months. It's not the vibes right now, especially with the economy. So, but I am interviewing. I am trying to get the job. Like, I do want to try to get the job. It's just it's kind of difficult to want to stay in a place for 9 months when they only pay you so little. But yeah, that is happening. So I'm going to continue to do Depop whether or not they say yes to me. But if I do get this like media job at a middle school, it is going to eat up most of my day, and then Depop takes up time, and then live streaming and stuff will take up time as well. So I think schedules will keep shifting depending on what job I get, but hopefully I do get this media job at a middle school. I think it'll be pretty chill, and I can probably like sneak in some YouTube script writing or something on there. So always trying to figure out work stuff because I'm currently unemployed if you don't count Depop as work and live streaming as work and like YouTube as work, which I'm always trying to do and figure out. But yeah, I've been quitting jobs and starting jobs. I've been in a lot of transitionary moments this May and going into June. It's definitely affecting my productivity. So I did struggle a lot with like live streaming last week. So that's why I was gone. But I'm excited to get into the news. There's a lot going on in terms of like sustainable fashion and the environment, and just like there's chaos all around the world with immigration and a lot of violence against protesters and just violence in general, which it hasn't been very fun to see, obviously. But besides that, I went to a creator event this Saturday in Chicago. It was by a girl called Colleen. She is like an Instagrammer, you can say. I can pull her up right now, but she has a group called Let's Ripple, and basically she brings people together to learn about like social media or like key tips or whatever. So this is her. She hosted a workshop this Saturday in Chicago, and it was super fun. I met a lot of people. She's super successful. She has like 300, almost 400,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram. And then this is organization Let's Ripple, and I went to the Chicago workshop where we learned about storytelling. It wasn't that impactful because I kind of know how to do storytelling. I used to do a lot of communication stuff for past work, but it was like refreshing to see like creative people come together. Like some people flew in from Chicago, some people came in from San Francisco, others were locals and stuff. So it was an all-day event. I was there from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. I highly recommend, if this is something of interest, like if you're a creative in social media or like want a creative community, like this is a great organization and initiative by Colleen. And everyone was so nice. It was so wholesome. This time in Chicago, they partnered with Powder Blue, which is this creative studio in Pilsen, which I didn't know they existed, but they just opened up in February. And they're super cool people, very nice, very genuine. They seem a bit overworked. They are creatives in a lot of different industries, but like they have worked with a lot of different creators. Like they know Hank and John Green, which is great, through their connection. So very well connected, well versed creatives in Pilsen. So hoping to work with them in some capacity. That's their studio that they were opening up. So I don't really know what else they do besides their magazine that they do. I think it's every 2 or 3 months, but they also like interview a lot of creatives. So I'm excited to like possibly be more integrated with them. But a lot of times, like when it comes to like creative work, it just comes down to you and like your will to make it happen. They're not necessarily live streamers, so I don't really think I have a lot to learn from them in terms of live streaming. But I've been learning a lot actually from Streamer University. I mentioned them last time. If you don't know what Streamer University is, it's a program that happened like 2 weeks ago. Oh, don't look at my desktop, jeez. But yeah, I've been learning a lot from Streamer University, and I feel so much more inspired to be a streamer, just because I do think it's a great way to like build community and be open and honest about who I am without any scripts or without any like sense of like professionalism or agenda. I mean, obviously I'm talking about news, but like that's really all I'm doing. But yeah, Streamer University happened, and there's so much good clips of like what it takes to be a good streamer. So that's what I've been gleaning on, and that's what's keeping me motivated. But yeah, that's basically kind of what I've been up to. Just kind of going to the Chicago events, getting out there, leaving my room, watching clips from Streamer University, working on YouTube, applying to jobs, seeing what fits, what doesn't fit in my life, and then like improving tech for the live stream. So I think by this Friday or this Thursday, I may have the PC running. I'm gonna do the gaming. I've been thinking a lot about like Winx Fairies and like Sailor Moon games and like the Bratz games, like all like very kiddish fashion games. But I'm probably gonna start gaming soon, like Wednesdays and Sundays. So new schedule is coming up. I'll always keep everyone posted. But yeah, for now, let's get into the news. Last time I started live streaming, I was talking about the Adidas new move to ban kangaroo skin, and a lot of other brands have also started coming out and banning the use of kangaroo skins. And I barely learned about this last Tuesday when I first initially tried to cover this news, like I said. And I didn't know that brands use kangaroo skin. Like it's kind of audacious to me. Like it just rubs me the wrong way, I guess, that people are doing this. Or brands are doing this, but basically they're going to stop using kangaroo skin and by the end of 2024, and it will end the production of products containing the material this year. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that it's in shoes. I can't wrap my head around that. But also other brands have stopped using them, like Puma, Diadora, Sokito, Nike, and New Balance. And I recently saw that Fashion Dive also covered another brand that I forget what their name is. But it seems like everyone is coming to a stop on this. I don't remember what, but it's a recent article that just came out. Okay, Mizuno. Mizuno is another brand that stopped using leather since last week. So there you go. And that was like where the kangaroo leather was used in for this brand. But yeah, Adidas is also no longer using their leather, and it was commonly used in their high-end soccer cleats, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, why would you put kangaroo leather in a soccer cleat? Like, where did they get that idea? And Adidas said that it came in response to an in-person petition that was introduced last week, or for at least for now, like 2 weeks ago, by a guy called Wayne. And he's the president of the Center for a Humane Economy and Animal Wellness Action. And he actually went to Germany to attend Adidas' annual general meeting and asked them to end the use of kangaroo skins, which has been used to make their footwear, especially the Copa Mundial soccer cleat. We can definitely take a look at the soccer cleat, but at like initial glance, like you don't assume that these shoes have kangaroo leather. Like it's not apparent. So it's this one. And a lot of people against kangaroo skin are against the Dick's Sporting Goods because they do have other shoes that use kangaroo leather, which I didn't know about, but this is the Adidas shoe that has the kangaroo leather, and it's also sold in Dick's Sporting Goods. So like if you look at it, like it doesn't really look any special or any, it doesn't look special. It doesn't look like anything out of this world. And then if you like analyze the description of the thing, of the product, it doesn't really say anything too specific about it except premium K leather upper. So like how are we supposed to know this is kangaroo leather? Like who does it first, like how does it help anyone that it has kangaroo leather? And then why bother using the kangaroo leather and not even label it as kangaroo leather? You just say K leather. Like for someone that's not really versed with kangaroo leather, they're not going to know that K leather means kangaroo leather. So that is very interesting to know. And I mean, they could always use alternatives. Like I don't think brands at this point need to be using kangaroo leather. There's like plastic leather, obviously. I know that's a bit more damaging in terms of like the production process because it uses more resources and it takes longer to decompose and stuff. Let me enlarge my image over here because I can barely see myself. But yeah, this is a shoe, and Adidas is gonna stop using the kangaroo leather, which is a good thing, right? But at the same time, I'm like, I wonder like what other direction they're going to. Are they gonna use cow leather now? Like, are they going to use a plastic alternative leather like pleather? Who knows? But I am definitely curious, like, what are the advantages of kangaroo leather? Because I'm not well versed in, like, if it's more, I don't know, durable or, like, maybe more ethical to use kangaroo leather versus any other animal. But, like how ethical can it be to use animal leather in the first place? You know, like, there's a lot of contention of the cruelty that animals have to go through for brands to kill them and stuff. So, But yeah, the article continues on to say that the mass killing of kangaroos has been driven by exports mainly for kangaroo skins. So basically, they're saying that they kill the kangaroos for the skin. Like, there's no other reason that they're killed besides for the use of their skin for leather. So Adidas is exiting the trade, and they have started shutting down sourcing of skins by the world's top 5 athletic shoe brands. Oh, wait, no, I misread that. With Adidas exiting the trade, we have shut down sourcing of skins by the world's top 5 athletic shoe brands. So it seems like this animal advocacy group has convinced the top 5 athletic shoe brands to stop using the kangaroo leather. Okay. I think maybe that's why there's so much energy, because this group, the Humane Economy and Animal Wellness Action, is taking a lot of initiative and is like pressuring them to do a lot of decisions to like end kangaroo skin. I just kind of wonder like what his tactic is, because I've never really heard this. Like, I don't know what Wayne is saying to Adidas to convince them. Like, it's actually really impressive. Like, I don't know how he's doing this. Like, how is he convincing all these shoe brands? Like, I think we do need to take notes from Wayne for other things that we want to fix in the industry and like for fast fashion. So definitely need to take some notes from Wayne. I wonder if he's done any interviews. I've never heard of this dude, but it seems impressive that he's targeted so many brands and they've like stopped using kangaroo leather, because brands are just notorious of doing whatever the freak they want, and like they don't stop unless there's like real laws forcing them to do stuff. And these brands just seem so willing to like stop using kangaroo leather for some reason. But I'm sure there's like much more behind the story, obviously. And he's been at it for years. Like, this video is like 15 years old and he's like talking about the same thing. So he seems like an OG expert over here, but I don't know how he's pulling everything off to convince Adidas to like do this. Yeah, there's nothing really that recent. Yeah. Let's see what else says. What else the article says. So he traveled to Germany, he talked to them. He also says that his organization now plans to intensify its efforts to end this trade once and for all by securing similar pledges by athletic brands Asics and Mizuno, which they accomplished because this article just came out today, and so they are ending the use of kangaroo leather. So their pressure is obviously working. It's just I don't really know how they're achieving this, and they're going to gradually phase it out of all their products, and there's like a specific timeline. Oh, there is no specific timeline that has been finalized, says Tomoyo, the manager of sustainability initiatives in the Japan-based brand. So, yeah. Dang. So here in the article, it says Jennifer, who is the director of the Center for the Humane Economy, the other organization I was talking about, she had been asking the president to act with deliberate speed in putting an end to the use of kangaroo leather. So I think they were just consistently asking them over and over and over again, like, stop using kangaroo leather, until they just follow the lead of other brands that like crumbled under the pressure. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, but I don't know the tea. I wish I knew the tea. And they say it's a tremendous victory for animals and for ethical business practices, which is a good thing. Let's see if I can find any information behind kangaroo skin in the athlete world. I was looking into this last week as well. I found a really good article or website. I wonder if I can find it again. Is it this one? Loading is slow. They did do a press release of Adidas' decision. So the announcement of Adidas stepping away from kangaroo skin completes the run of new policies against kangaroo killing driven by the Kangaroos Are Not Shoes campaign. So it's an attempt to halt the sourcing of skins for marsupials killed in nighttime massacres of adults that orphan the joeys, which I imagine are the kids. So let's look at this. Okay, yeah, this was the website I was analyzing last time, and it's very informative. It's called Kangaroos Are Not Shoes. I like how it rhymes. Here, let me... Kangaroo facts. Okay, so this is what I was looking at. Sorry if it's a repetition if you've already seen this, but my live stream crashed out last time. So anyways, so... Oh wait, are these just general facts? Taking action. Okay, so basically kangaroos are killed, and about 2 million every year are killed, and they're the largest land-based slaughter wildlife on the planet. Jesus, I didn't know it was that bad. My big face is in the way. My big face is in the way of the facts. Okay. Number 2, it's wrong to kill animals for their skins, which I totally agree. I do think it's wrong to kill animals for their skin. And there is alternative fabrics and fibers. True, I mentioned that. There is vegan-friendly options. True. And then they also explain that it's wrong to kill kangaroos because it is commercial killing for a native species in their own habitat. Very interesting. Very true. I agree. And then they say that soccer players can already buy cleats from major athletic shoe companies that are made from synthetic materials. Why is it moving? It's moving. These facts are moving. So synthetic or plant-based fibers or fabrics, and they're actually performing better than the kangaroo ones. Interesting. Number 5, when commercial hunters shoot females kangaroos, it says that they have to kill the babies by force. I think that's what they're saying. This thing keeps moving. The facts keep moving. So this is the fate of 400,000 of them each year. Dang, they gotta kill the babies too if they kill the females. And then companies successfully sell non-kangaroo shoes in California, which bans selling kangaroo parts. Oh my god, these facts need to stop moving. I'm bugging out. How do I pause it? It's pressuring me to read faster. Stop it. I'm not that smart. Okay, so California apparently is banned from selling kangaroo shoes. And if they can successfully sell shoes, they're not kangaroo based, everyone else can follow, basically, is what they're saying. Dang, I did not realize that. Oh gosh. Huh. Let me see. It says that 2019 Australian fires killed more than 1 billion animals, including millions of kangaroos, so adding commercial killing to the death toll is irresponsible and biologically reckless. Dang, I didn't know kangaroos had it that bad. They're so cute too. The way they just hop into the pouches and they just hang out in there, man. These are talented animals. I didn't even know they were like used for leather. They're just too cute to be killed. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve it. Poor babies. They killed the mom, they killed the child. Jesus Christ. There's like no mercy. Ugh. Okay, so that's really good news, at least for this start of the phasing out of kangaroo leather. I'm sure there's so much more work and so much more brands and policies that need to take shape, but that is really exciting to see. Also, there is a lot of other people stepping up in sustainable fashion to do what I say is fashion activism. And it can start off as simple as a hashtag campaign. So a hashtag campaign is like something mostly dominating like social media. And it can start off like simple, or it can start off cute, and then it can like escalate. I always say that your activism doesn't have to be like this whole huge, like fully fledged out idea or like thing. It can actually start from the simple desire or need for brands to do something, and then you like put a hashtag like blah blah blah, and then it brings traction from other online users, and then it can become a campaign or something. Well, that's the goal at least. And so I saw this article by this lady who started pressuring brands to take back their clothing that she had bought from them, because she thinks that they have a responsibility to take care of what happens to the clothing after it's bought. So like no matter if she bought it, she thinks that the brands are the ones responsible, not her, the consumer. So her name is Wendy Ward, and she launched a hashtag Take It Back campaign so that people can hopefully send their old, worn out clothes back to major retailers. I think it takes major audacity to be like, yeah, like we're not the ones that are supposed to be dealing with the textile waste at the end of the process. I think it's more so like the brand. So it does take off the pressure from us individuals that we often feel to do something in the industry, and turns it over to more so like the brand, like, bro, like you made this in the first place, it's not on us. So yeah, she initially tried doing this by mailing a decades old poly cotton bed sheet to Sainsbury's. I think it's like a UK based brand for home goods or something, but she's also sent them a letter asking the company to take responsibility, and she said, I would really love to hear what you decide to do, she wrote. And equally frustrated, she also asked her Instagram followers to join in, and some have returned their old stuff to brands like H&M and Marks and Spencer. So the hashtag Take It Back demand is basically, again, making the brand take full responsibility of the product, where we as consumers send it back to them and then they can decide what to do with it. And it's notorious that brands have decided to push the responsibility onto quote unquote less developed countries, often called the like third world countries, but for me I call them the global south. But yeah, this stance, they explain, mirrors what is called like the extended producer responsibility policies, which is an initiative some brands do to take further responsibility than just like selling the product and like washing your hands from the responsibility. Like the extended producer responsibility is like a more circular process of like, okay, I'm making sure that what we make actually comes back and is reused over and over and over again in this continuous cycle. So that's why the circle metaphor is used. And they have, some brands have done this, but it's more popular in other countries outside of the United States. Like France, Hungary, the Netherlands have more policies around this than typical Western money-hungry brands. But yeah, it's also good to note that a lot of brands are not on track on meeting carbon emission reduction goals that they set for themselves. Like they're way behind their 2030 like emission reduction goals. So a lot of those social responsibility workers are just kind of like saying they're doing stuff, like the brand is doing stuff, but like it's very slow moving. So I do like Wendy's effort of like pressuring the brands to actually like take back their stuff and actually like doing stuff instead of like waiting for the brand to like take action on their EPR or their take back or their own initiatives that they're promising us that they're doing. But yeah, I think we do need more concerned citizens. Like at the end of the day, like we need more people coming together and being like, okay, so like what are they actually doing? What are brands actually doing? Like how can we pressure them to care, or like how can we have the sustainability officers like actually do their job for the day and stuff. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of pressure, but I do think the executives, like the top executives, are the ones responsible, versus expecting like the quote unquote sustainability officers of like major fashion brands to like do anything that is actually like impactful. Yeah, I just don't think sustainability workers and fashion brands or major fashion brands are actually doing anything. I know that's kind of like a contentious opinion, but I could have gone down that field and worked as a sustainability officer a long while ago. I don't think it's I don't think it's quote unquote like a real job when these major brands are creating so much collections and so much waste, and they refuse to even meet basic emission goals that they themselves place on themselves to reach. So that's just me being honest here. It's just me being honest. Okay, yeah. I'm getting thirsty. Let me get some drinks in here. Oh my gosh, there's something in here and it's like a leaf. Not my big finger in there. What is that? It's like a leaf. Dang, sorry. It's fine. The drink is fine. Okay, let's moving on. Okay, so one thing that I saw talking washing and social responsibility by major brands is I have been following H&M Foundation, which is like almost a charitable part of H&M. Who knew those words would be coming out of my mouth? H&M has a charitable part to them. As soon as I turn on my Wi-Fi, my phone, the stream starts to glitch, so I'll turn that off. I'll turn off my phone. Fine, it's fine. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But yeah, H&M Foundation, man, they've come out with a new initiative where they're awarding people that are supposedly leaders in the sustainable fashion field, that are supposedly like reducing greenhouse emissions, that are supposedly like doing things to help adjust transition to people on the planet. Supposedly they have like philanthropic resources for those inspiring change. So they had this huge event called the 2025 Global Change Award, and they announced the winners. It's just I'm only noting this or like talking about this because I'm suspicious of it, not that I support it. I am not in support of any fast fashion brand, no matter how many initiatives of change they take. I'm not in support of fast fashion ever. I can applaud their efforts, I can applaud their progress, I can track their progress, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to be a fan of fast fashion brands. Oh my god, it's crinkly. Why is this crinkly? Okay, my voice is annoying, but hopefully that works. Okay. But yes, this is the page where they're talking about the recent awards. Now, they did focus on major themes like responsible production, sustainable materials and processes, mindful consumption, and there was a bit of wild cards that were awarded. But I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the program director of H&M Foundation explained that the winners are not just solving problems, they're rethinking the systems behind it. Their ideas reflect the kind of early stage innovation we need to unlock system level change, and reminds us that transformation starts with brave, often uncertain steps. I feel like this is kind of hypocritical because H&M is known for having very greenwashy collections. They don't really do what they say they're doing. Like they say, oh yeah, we're gonna do eco collections, and then it turns out it wasn't actually eco-friendly. So I do wonder how much Annie is getting paid. How much is Annie getting paid to say this BS? Because it takes some guts to be a hypocrite sometimes, doesn't it? Especially when you're working for a major brand like fast fashion, H&M. Fast fashion H&M, that's what I call them. Not H&M. Fast fashion H&M. FFHM. So for those that did win this award, hopefully the money that they received can help them in their process and their journey. I don't judge the winners. It's just, what is this H&M group doing? Like they can actually like stop their overproduction like rapidly. Like if they wanted to, they could change the whole culture of their brand, but they don't want to. They rely on the global supply chain and the race to the bottom to make money. And then they want to be seen as, oh, so good. And we actually care and we actually have solutions. As they fail to reach their basic carbon emission goals, and yet they're awarding 10 people because they're doing good stuff. Like, this is just a joke at the end of the day. It's such a joke. But that's just to illuminate the hypocrisy. I don't know how they can sleep at night, but good on them for being a hypocrite and showing the world that they stand for nothing. They do stand for nothing. This is just another PR stunt, I feel like. And whoever believes it, I don't blame them, because it looks good from the outside. It really does. And going on to Google News. So Google has been coming out with a lot of tech innovation. They've been at it with like the Google glasses, and now it's Google Shopping. So let's take a look at this commercial.
Blue one. I click on this button to try it on. It asks me to upload a picture, which takes me to my camera roll. I have many pictures here. I'm going to pick one that is full length and a clear view of me, and off it goes. While it's processing, I'll show you what's happening behind the scenes. To create a try-on experience that works at scale, we need a deep understanding of the human body and how clothing looks on it. To do this, we built a custom image generation model specifically trained for fashion. Wow, and it's back. I have to say I love a live demo when it works. All right, more on how it works. It brings in advanced 3D shape understanding, which allows us to perceive shapes and depths more accurately, helping us better visualize the human body. Our try-on experience works with your photo. It's not some pre-captured image or a model that doesn't look like you. And then, when it comes to clothes that you're interested in, the AI model is able to show how this material will fold and stretch and drape on people. This technology is the most state-of-the-art in the industry at scale, and it allows us to visualize how billions of apparel products look on a wide variety of people.
Dang. So this is called Google I/O. Shopping just got quote unquote smarter. And honestly, this is just kind of scary for me to see. Like, what are we heading towards? Like, what is shopping gonna look like for us in the future? And they say it is an AI powered tool that's first rolling out in the US, and it's a virtual try-on thing that will let you see how clothing looks like on your own body. So you don't have to guess on generic models. So just upload a photo of yourself and put it on Google AI, and it will show you what you look like in the outfit. And then it's just that. You just get to see yourself wearing the outfit, which I think is very scary. Like, a lot of times I think, what are going to be my rights for my own self-image online? Like, do I give up my privacy, like my image, in exchange for these tools? I know that some models have like AI clones of themselves, and they give permission to the brands to use AI clones of themselves. But like, what if I get cloned without my permission? I'm not saying I'm like model worthy. It's just, what are my rights? What are my rights once I like put up an image in the system and AI has access to it? Is it saved somewhere? Do I give up my rights as a person when I upload my photo? I sound like a boomer. But I'm serious. Like, do I just automatically consent for the image to be used by AI if I upload it on the site? I do think that malls are dying because of these innovations and for a lot of other reasons, like online shopping. But this is just the next level thing that it's gonna make in real life shopping so much more harder. And I'm not too excited about it. I do think AI can be beneficial, but when it comes down to these things of like, oh, it's gonna help us shop by like helping us upload an image and having clothing be put on the avatar, it doesn't sound that helpful when we're starving to death because we can't find jobs. I do think more privileged people with time are going to use this, but yeah, it's not that exciting for me. There's a lot of other stuff coming out. Like, I just saw too that they're releasing the Google glasses. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but let me find it. It's these Google smart glasses. Vogue Business actually talked about it. There it is. It says, will the fashion crowd buy Google smart glasses? Google is partnering with Kering Eyewear, Warby Parker, and Gentle Monster for its new smart glasses. And we speak to experts about whether Google's version could come out on top. So it says last Tuesday they came out with these partnerships. So it's going to have AI functions and augmented reality in these smart glasses, and it's going to be part of Google's Android extended reality operating system so that they can use Google Gemini hands-free. So this is going to be expected to debut in 2025. They're kind of ugly, not gonna lie. We're definitely entering a sci-fi dystopian future based on what we're creating. Also, people are gonna be over here looking shit up on their glasses, and they're gonna be staring at us, and we're not gonna realize they're actually on the internet, and we're gonna think they're crazy. People already think that we're talking to each other by ourselves. Like, my mom was like walking past someone, and they weren't just talking to themselves, but they were actually talking to someone on the AirPod, and she was like, "Who are they talking to?" And I was like, "Oh, they're just on the phone, but they have their AirPods in." I think it's just, that's going to be the example for what's going to come in 2025. We're going to be searching the web or doing something with AI, and for those that are not informed, they're just going to think that we're crazy. Like, what are they up to? Just looking around to the sky and saying weird things. It's not a fun time to be alive, I think.
These need to be stylish glasses that you'll want to wear all day. That's why I'm excited to announce today that Gentle Monster and Warby Parker will be the first eyewear partners to build glasses with Android XR. We want you to be able to wear glasses that match your personal taste. This is just the start. I can't wait for you to try Android XR for yourself. These need to be stylish glasses.
You need these stylish glasses. You need to buy everything, everywhere, all at once. You have to. Like, what? No, we don't. What is this propaganda?
Android XR. From headsets to glasses and everything in between. For watching movies, playing games, or getting work done, you'll want an immersive headset. We built Android XR together as one team with Samsung. This is Samsung's Project Muhan, the first Android XR device. With Google Maps in XR, you can teleport anywhere in the world simply by asking Gemini to take you there. You can talk with your AI assistant about anything you see and have it pull up videos and websites about what you're exploring.
This is literally what I predicted. We're going to be looking up at the sky asking Gemini, where is this, and then you're going to be seeing the screen through the glasses or something, or like in your surrounding. Bro, we're going to think we're crazy. For those that are not tech savvy. We're going to be over here online, and everyone else is going to think, what are they on? How are we going to know that we're online in real life? It's not going to be obvious anymore. This is scary. I'm Gen Z, but I do not like this. It's just crossing too many boundaries. Like, when you're in real life, you're in real life. You don't have to be looking stuff up while you're in a room. Like, you need to enjoy the sun, you know? Like, enjoy the times. Not be stuck with some glasses where you have access to the online world and just view it instead of viewing like the room itself. We don't need this.
Samsung's Project Muhan will be available for purchase later this year. Glasses with Android XR are lightweight and designed for all-day wear, even though they're packed with technology. A camera and microphones give Gemini the ability to see and hear the world. Speakers let you listen to the AI, play music, or take calls. And an optional in-lens display privately shows you helpful information just when you need it. These glasses work with your phone, giving you access to your apps while keeping your hands free. All this makes glasses a natural form factor for AI, bringing the power of Gemini right to where you are. We're taking our partnership with Samsung to the next level by extending Android XR beyond headsets to glasses. We're creating the software and reference hardware platform to enable the ecosystem to build great glasses. We know that these need to be stylish glasses that you'll want to wear all day. That's why
They want us to wear their stylish glasses all day, to use their product all day. You gotta be kidding me, sir.
excited to announce today that Gentle Monster and Warby Parker will be the first eyewear partners to build glasses with Android XR.
No, I don't want it, sir. I feel like the true luxury nowadays in this world of hyper-capitalism and commodification is nature and free time. I think what we all want in life is happiness. We want to have a good life where we can meet our needs and also our desires. I mean, it's not bad to like desire to have things. Like I desire to have pretty accessories. I desire to have pretty clothing. It's not a need necessarily, but it's part of the human experience to desire things, whether they're pleasure-based or not. But I do think that there is a line that we're crossing when we put on glasses that literally invade your pupils and your whole mind and your whole body with a constant stream of information, of like texts and information and music and cameras, and they're tracking everything. They're seeing everything with you. And if Google themselves say, we want you to have these on the entire day, and we're gonna make sure that happens by giving you stylish options, and this is just the start, I can only imagine the other products are going to continue to push on us so that we convince ourselves that yes, we need to be hyper connected, and that FOMO is a justification to not miss out on anything at all that's happening in the world. But at a certain point, like, how online are we going to be? Like, I'm on my phone. I picked that thing up too many times. I'm on my phone like for 6-7 hours on a normal day. I'm already online all day. Imagine glasses on top of the phone. I think future generations will struggle with understanding themselves, understanding free time, just being offline in general. So now we're just stepping into more and more integration of like the online worlds. I don't think we're going to really see ourselves separate from the online world anymore. Like right now we can at least turn off our phone, but if we rely on the glasses in the future, then how do we turn off the glasses? I mean, we can take them off, but if they're more part of our body, of our ecosystem, of our life, I think it's just harder to turn it off, to like separate it. I don't think this is the right step for humanity, especially when we have a climate crisis and when there is a lot of recession indicators. So for whoever wears these, I'm very curious why they want to be so online. What's the appeal of having instant access to the online world? Like, I don't really find messages that urgent. I don't find looking things up that urgent. And I do think there has to be something learned from those that were raised in the 80s or the 90s who seemed to be more in the present world, who seemed just happier. Like I watched people in like the vlogs I used to make, like there's like these 90s vlogs that people just uploaded recently or like in the last couple of years, where it's just like random people that would film moments and captured like what it was like to live in the 90s and 80s. I wasn't alive back then. I was born 1997. But just watching these vlogs just was very eye-opening that no one was really sucked into their phone. They would show concerts and everyone was like in the moment dancing, laughing with each other, conversating with each other. Nowadays, we're just trying to capture the concert in our phone. We look down into our laptops for comfort. We like, I don't know, we're just like too consumed by the online space. And maybe I'm a hypocrite because I'm live streaming, but I do think there has to be a lot to be learned from being more in the present versus more online. So this is just a bit worrisome because I do think a lot of people are going to support this, and it's going to be intriguing as more AI developments come out. It doesn't hurt to try them, obviously. It doesn't hurt to experiment, but at a certain point, like, what is the boundary between our own real life and living for the online world, or like on the online world? So no matter how stylish things are, like, at the end of the day, like, what is the meaning of this for your life? That's like the question I always ask. And like, what's the broader impact for our collective? And like, is this actually going to make us happy? Is this actually good for our mental health? And is this actually adding to our well-being, not only individually but like collectively? So from my worried state, I don't think it's a good thing for us. I don't think it's a good thing. It almost feels like we're becoming the product. We're just like the tool for the glasses. And I think Google has a lot of data that they can get from us if we're wearing their product all day. Who knows what they're doing with our data now? I don't want to even know. I don't even want to know. What do they do with our data? So to get into other news, I do want to get into how Saks Fifth Avenue started selling their collections in Costco, which I found really weird. I found it really, really weird that Saks Fifth Avenue started selling in Costco. Have you guys heard of this? Because this is just weird for me. I've never heard a luxury brand sell in a supermarket. Like, you wouldn't expect this move, but we're in a strange world right now. But the Saks Fifth Avenue brand has been licensed to Centric Brands for men's apparel and is headed to Costco over the coming months, sources said. And they explain that oh wait, it says here, a spokeswoman for Saks said that she has no comment. And a Centric brand spokesperson declined to comment. And then Costco, the membership-based warehouse club, didn't return a call seeking comment. Why does no one want to talk about it? What? So it says Saks Fifth Avenue women's merchandise is expected to eventually come to Costco's as well. So wait, okay, so the men's clothing is going to come first, and then the women's clothing is going to come second, and no one wants to talk about it. But a recent deal didn't come to fruition, apparently. But apparently Costco, I don't shop from Costco, so I wouldn't know, but it says here in the article, Costco has also carried other brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Wrangler, Eddie Bauer, Nick Graham, Adidas, Nike, Banana Republic, and Columbia, in addition to its own Kirkland brand. Oh, interesting. It's just that, why is luxury in supermarkets? I'm so confused. This is so weird. There's a bunch of fluff in this article. I don't know what to read. Fluffy, fluff. Okay, so oh, drama. It says the Saks Fifth Avenue nameplate at Costco is irking some contemporary vendors who sell at Saks. Oh, who sell Saks. My bad. Some vendors who sell Saks said, "You can't take a prestigious name like Saks and put it into Costco," said one vendor who does a lot of business with the Saks stores and feels like it's bound to hurt the prestige of Saks. They want to generate revenue using the trademark, he said. The vendor added that people aren't going to go into Saks anymore to buy high-end brands like Prada if they see the Saks Fifth Avenue label Costco's. Where is luxury going? I think luxury is fake. That's a concept made by man. Interesting. And then it continues on to say in recent months, Saks has been working with Amazon to get designer fashion on the e commerce site in a much more substantial way with the launch of Saks on Amazon, which is a storefront on Amazon's luxury stores platform. Huh? There's a luxury stores platform on Amazon? Oh no. There's Duce and Gabbana, Balmain, Stella McCartney? No way. Jason, whoop. This is this is this is not good. No. What is Amazon doing? This is what it looks like. Stella McCartney? I thought that was a sustainable fashion brand. On Amazon? Huh? I'm so confused. Would someone buy a 1,150, there's too many numbers here, $1,150 Balmain Paris purse on Amazon? This just feels weird. What the heck? $78 for a mascara? They're out of their damn mind. I don't care what brand it is. What is happening? Oh no. What is all these products? Toner for $80? No, just go wash your face. What is this? Shampoo? $48? It's a lot of dollars. Fear of God, $120. Just pray, man. Just pray. You don't need to pay $120. What is this stuff? This is capitalism, man. What the hell? Okay. So Amazon has millions of searches for these brands last year, showing both the potential of the Amazon customer base and the breadth that can be scary in luxury, where a tight focus on a select few can be a powerful statement. Huh? What? And in months ahead, more brands are set to launch on the Saks storefront, which will carry a selection of women's and men's ready-to-wear beauty, shoes, handbags, and accessories curated by Saks. So the storefront will be refreshed regularly at the launch and will feature a series of shoppable digital windows to show off the products. Not the AIs again, dang. So the windows will be replicated in the real world at Saks New York's flagship on Fifth Avenue. And the launch will also be hyped in a Saks Arrives on Amazon campaign created by Saks and directed by Emmy Award-winning director Max. No, we don't need this. We don't need this. Wait. Has anyone else been talking about this online? Saks and Amazon. Saks and Costco. Saks and everywhere. Bro, we don't need Saks. Take the middleman out. They just want a quick buck. That's what's happening here. Let's see. What is going on? Saks Fifth Avenue on Amazon. What? I wonder how they're going to excuse their behavior. We want to make money. That's the undertone, I think.
E-commerce storefront. According to Retail Dive,
is that AI?
The section is called Luxury Stores at Amazon. It features a selection of merchandise curated by Saks Fifth Avenue, including women's and men's ready-to-wear beauty, shoes, handbags, and accessories. Merchandise is available through Amazon's app and website. The launch is accompanied by specially designed digital displays inspired by the windows of Saks Fifth Avenue's New York flagship, and the online store.
Is she reading the same article I just read?
Front is also being promoted via a window installation at the Saks Fifth Avenue New York flagship store. Ben, we're going to go to you first, our guest today. Did Saks just signal its ultimate demise with the new Amazon partnership, or do you think the partnership is the right move to make?
Thank you. And I think that there's two perspectives on this. There's the Amazon perspective and the Saks perspective.
Yeah.
So let's do Amazon first. Yeah, okay. So who wouldn't want luxury consumers on the platform? You know, high spenders, high net value, high margin goods, and it's something that Amazon has been trying to do for a while. Yeah, they've had these kind of luxury stores since about 2020, and there's been really limited traction to this. And Somebody said to me the other day, which really resonated. They were talking about luxury retail, and they said to me, luxury retail is the game of making people really want things they really don't need," which I thought was great, and that's absolutely not what Amazon is designed for. Yeah, that's the antithesis of Amazon. So look, there's always been a mismatch. So for Amazon, bringing the Saks brand onto the platform and crucially getting access to their supplier relations, that's a win. And that win for them is probably what led them to invest in this new Saks Global formation last summer. And ever since they did that, this move has felt pretty inevitable. So, and that, I think that context is really important because Amazon, along with Salesforce and Authentic Brands Group, helped finance Saks, the acquisition of Neiman Marcus. So they helped finance the creation of Saks Global. And I think that's the rub.
Really?
If you start going from the Saks perspective, there's been so much coverage about this acquisition. We could, I'm sure we could do a podcast series in its own right, but yeah, I think everybody's aware it's not going very well. It's got a huge amount of debt. It's raised over 2 billion in junk bonds to finance the acquisition. It's got a really large debt repayment coming up soon. So, Saks has to find the cash flow to be able to make that payment. And he's got to keep Amazon, one of his big investors, on side. And I think when you strip it all back, I think that's what's driving this activity above anything else.
Interesting. So you think there's no value, if I'm reading between the lines, you don't think there's value from a consumer perspective. You just think you think that they're not going to be going to Amazon for luxury. That's just this is a move to pacify investors, not so much or keep the peace, not so much for the consumer.
I think the rationale is really strong for why Amazon would want to try and make this happen. I think it's really challenging to see why from a Saks perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris, where do you land on this? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a couple thoughts on what Ben said, and then kind of add my own twist to it too. I think for Amazon, it's kind of a no-brainer in a way, but I would caution the idea of Amazon being able to get all the brands under the Saks umbrella onto the platform because the brands still have to get permission to sell. And I lived through that at Target when we acquired some high-end cooking online websites with the idea or the premise that we would get access to their brands, which turned out not to be true. We saw the same thing with Moose Jaw and Walmart, the kerfuffle that they had trying to do the same thing. It just doesn't happen that way as much as people want to think that it does. But for Amazon, it's still like, let's try it. But the other point I would make on the Saks side, on the investor side, this move, I mean, this thing is just silly. I mean, to me, it's like signals the death knell of eventually Saks, because the most ridiculous part of the announcement to me is that someone at Saks actually thinks it makes sense to use the windows along Fifth Avenue to advertise this. It's like, don't come into our store, everyone walking by on the greatest shopping street in America. You could just go to get the goods on Amazon. I mean, that is just absolutely asinine when I say that out loud. I mean, you guys have to agree with that, I think. So
I don't know. It's driving awareness, right? Like it's awareness to consumers that you could, that now they are available.
But the awareness
on Amazon.
of the death of your business model. Like if people start to do that, your stores are going to become obsoleted that quickly. And so it just goes back to my point again of, barring a few exceptions, department stores are the 21st century retail equivalent of the horse and buggy. They're going away, and this is just a further example of it. And man, I think the proof's in the pudding.
I think that's a really interesting point around the department store model. And I think the exception to that is the success that Nordstrom's having.
Wait, isn't Saks the middleman? And then they went to another middleman? So they're partnering with middleman. It's like middleman and middleman makes money from other brands, right? That's what's happening. So I think it just illuminates that we need to go to the source. Who's actually making these products? Why can't we just go buy to the makers and be like, here's the money. We don't need to work with the middlemans. We don't need the greed. I think Saks is just exposing themselves a bit more of what they're actually profiting off of, which is other brands, by going to Amazon, who also sells other brands. Right? That's what I'm seeing. Or am I not understanding what Saks is? Wait, let me do some quick research.
And
Right.
Nordstrom's having, because it recognizes that at the moment, to sell luxury, you need experience, you need personal selling. There is, I think there's lots of stories about the number one personal seller in the Neiman Marcus estate having moved to Nordstrom and taken her account book with her, and she's turning over the equivalent of a department store on her own through personal selling. So there is this ultra high end market whereby a physical environment of departments of curated products really resonates. Now, as the economies contract, where is price and convenience going to become more compelling to consumers and more compelling for brands as a route to get there? Possibly. Does luxury have a level of protection from that? Possibly. But I think there is still a role to play for that connection, that experience. You've just got to look at the buzz of the print-on store in New York. Create experience and you can sell luxury. So I'm not quite sure that the department store in luxury isn't the right thing to do. I'm not sure that Saks are necessarily taking the right route to unlock it.
Yeah, right. You have to position it that way. That's why I said, barring few exceptions, for the most part, it's going away.
Yeah.
Just like there's still horse and buggies riding around Central Park if you do it right. But, like you have to position the store experience in the right way. And this, particularly devoting your windows to selling on Amazon, is not that.
I don't know, guys. I'm going to come in here with a different perspective. I think that on one hand, I totally agree. Like the department store as we know it, it needs to evolve or it's going to die. And does this Amazon connection dilute the Saks brand a little bit? Maybe, but I do think that there's an important thing to call out here, and that is that we've said that it's okay for Walmart.com to sell luxury, but now we're saying it's not okay for Amazon.com to sell luxury. I think there's a major disconnect there, because I think when you think about how people are searching,
that's a different question, but that's from a different starting point. And that's Walmart selling luxury, having access to luxury. That's different than that's to the point about Amazon. Yeah, it makes sense for Amazon, but for the point of Saks, Saks going on Amazon is different than the Walmart example.
There's still a point of Saks going on this to keep their business model alive. The convenience stuff is number one here, because if you still order something from Saks, from Nordstrom, from any of these retailers, the shipping for me to cover shipping, even when I'm spending a certain amount of money to get free shipping, I'm still waiting a week for an order from Nordstrom, for example. Now I can go on. If I'm a luxury shopper, I've already been in the store. I know what handbag I want. If I want that delivered to me, or that dress delivered to me for an event the next day, and I already have all of my Amazon information in there and I can get it in one day, I think there's value to that. And that's not something that with the current Saks model, they're able to deliver on. Second, I think when it does come to searching for something, like yesterday, I'm looking for basic black t-shirts, but I want a high quality black t-shirt. When you start to think about things like Rufus that Amazon's deployed, where I can have an engaging conversation with somebody. So the new version, the like now version of what that sales associate was able to help me with on in a store. When you think about how that's happening on Amazon, and now I can be served up not just Amazon Essentials t-shirts, but I can also say, Rufus, I want something that's a little bit more high quality. And maybe I'm getting a James Purse t-shirt that I would only be able to get if Saks is on the Amazon platform. So I do think that there's value, and this is Saks and Amazon kind of evolving together into the new definition of selling luxury.
Wow, we're starting off hot today. So shots fired there. But okay, I'm going to refute the point on two things. The first part of that, just use Buy with Prime then. Why do you have to do all this? Like, you could get all those shipping benefits just by linking up with Buy with Prime.
You could, but I think that assumes that people are going directly to Saks.com, which we know they aren't going to Saks.com as frequently, and they're going to Amazon.
But that was the premise of what you said. Like, they're shopping there and they're not confident in the delivery and the experience. So, okay, then get confidence in the delivery experience by linking up with Buy with Prime. But then the second point is, you're thinking about this in isolation. You have to remember, too, that Amazon already has items available from these brands on their website. So this isn't changing the experience.
Not all of the brands.
Well, the brands, anyone that wants to put a brand on the website as a third-party seller can do that. And that's been a problem on Amazon for years. So the search experience is not really going to be augmented by this in any way, shape, or form as well. So
Steven, you just invested in my life's work.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Drama. Why they cut him off like that? Damn. It was getting good. Well, a lot of nuance. It's very interesting how consumers are going to Amazon to buy luxury fashion. I feel like it just demonstrates there's a lot of trust in Amazon, even for luxury fashion. Like, they're willing to pay $1,000 for something just because they were able to buy it from Amazon. Like, they're searching it up on Amazon. That's crazy. I do wonder what the appeal is, like how they got that trust from consumers, but it is a powerhouse in itself for selling so many random stuff all the time. But yeah, this was such a good debate. Dang. Omni Talk Retail, 160K subs. They talk about retailers by retailers about the future of retail. They like their retail. There you go. Oh my gosh, Nike's huge mistake. Why returning to Amazon is wrong. Google's AI shopping experience. Ooh, this is a good site to be informed about what's happening in retail. Oh my gosh, is Walmart's prices increasing? No. Don't tell me this. Oh gosh. Okay, cool. Subbing. Yeah, Saks is just being a weirdo right now. I wonder what they're up to. If we don't know what their strategy is, I'm just gonna call them a weirdo. It seems so odd that they're going on Amazon. And it seems so odd that they're going to Costco. Like, what are they up to? They just want their money. They're saying, give me my money. I do think there's a greater need for luxury fashion, and I think they're going to places that they know that consumers trust. Like, they trust Amazon, they trust Costco. They're going to things that are familiar, and I think if they know that nobody's going on their site, it makes sense to expand outwards. And it does seem like they sell brands that are not their own, so they themselves are a middleman. So they know the business of being a middleman. So if you can't beat the other middleman, you might as well join the middleman. Amazon, Saks, they're just middleman bros. That's really it. They want money. They're getting their money, and partnerships make money. I don't think there's much more else there to debate, whether we theorize or strategize why. At the end of the day, Saks and Amazon know what their deal was, and I think it's going to amount to millions for each of their own wallet. And I think it just ends, this conversation ends with the point, at least in my head, it's like, how much is enough for them? How much is going to be enough for them? I really am jealous for the shareholders sometimes, because all these strategies, all this theorizing, and it's all going to go to the pockets of the shareholders, while the poor just get poorer, huh? What a lovely capitalistic world we live in right now. Jesus Christ. I do wonder if there's any videos on why Saks is joining Costco. The Costco brand. Do you guys sell from Costco? Because, what did I just ask? Do you guys sell at Costco? Do you guys buy at Costco? Because it just seems so bougie. It's like bulk items, right? I've never been. I don't got personal opinions about Costco. The Secret World of Kirkland Dubs? What? What are they selling? Wait, I'm not even sharing my screen. Okay, so this is the screen. I'm like getting into a tunnel vision of research here. What is going on with Costco? It seems so chaotic. Get the good list sent every Tuesday for weekly dubs and deals? Costco, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, hyper capitalism right here. Saks Fifth Avenue and Costco, what are y'all up to? They're just always coming out with stuff, it seems like. New finds this week? What the heck is happening? What? They got Legos? They got baseball cards? I'm so confused. What is happening in Costco? Maybe this isn't weird for Costco, but maybe it is natural for Saks to put their products in there because they know that Costco will sell anything, as well as Amazon. Amazon and Costco are just willing to sell anything at this point. Okay. Dang, okay. The world is a funny place to live in. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna move on. I'm just so confused right now what's happening with all these brands. But we're gonna go into good news, exciting news, fun news, wholesome news, good, beautiful news. So 2 women apparently have been giving people makeovers, in particular Miss Universe Australia. There's been a lot of Australian themed news. Maybe the good news is only coming from Australia. Nothing good is happening in the United States apparently. So Miss Universe Australia was competing for the crown, and she was actually dressed up in secondhand clothing, which is really cool to see, especially in like high stake awards and high stake events. So she traveled to Vietnam this month or last month for the competition. She was one of the finalists for Miss Universe Australia, and she wore all secondhand fashion. So she prepared for the 7-day trip with a stylist and who is also a slow fashion advocate. Her name is Jo Gambal. And so they jumped together and they challenged the misconceptions around secondhand clothing, which is typically thought to look as frumpy or outdated. So this is the duo. She's apparently giving her like a quote unquote makeover with secondhand pieces. That's like one look. And that's the stylist right there. She's thinking about the pieces. That's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. There you go. And then she said, Mortlock is her last name. She said, I wanted to prove to people that it could still be of a Miss Universe Australia caliber. So why so fashion? So Mortlock said that growing up in the country has given her an appreciation for nature, and she recognized early that the pressure to always have the newest trend was not sustainable, either environmentally or personally. She says it costs so much money to buy things, to buy all these new outfits and then believing that you can only wear them once, said the 25-year-old. She said one of her favorite I cannot talk today. She said one of her favorite secondhand outfits had white flared pants, a baby pink top with golden shells for buttons, and designer Miu Miu sunglasses. And her Miss Universe Australia peers kept asking where the outfits were from, and she even had offers to buy some of the unique pieces. She even had offers to buy some of the pieces. Oh, so like people wanted to buy from her. They wanted to buy her pieces. And that is one of their visions, one of their outfits from secondhand sources. Nice. She's gorgeous. She looks like a little princess. Dang. Did she win? Maybe. She went on to say, I felt so rich and fabulous. And like no one in a million years would ever think this is secondhand. I like that. I like that. She went on to explain that the satisfaction of finding a piece is so much more gratifying than the satisfaction of just buying something new as well, because you feel like you put in the work to find that, and you know that no one else will have it. Yes, I agree. That's why secondhand fashion is so great, so unique. And then she goes on to say there's a lot of vintage shops out there and secondhand retailers that have created these amazing collections. True. Nice. Oh yeah, this is all the textile waste in Ghana. Not very fun, not very cute. And then she went on to say that she did not want to contribute to Australia's textile waste problem because more than half of Australia's 200,000 tons of donated clothing is exported to developing countries, such as Ghana each year, according to the latest national waste report. There, it collects in mountains, destroying the local environment and clothing trade. Dang. And she says, I see these kids in Ghana who literally can't play on the beach because there's these massive tentacles of clothes all twisted up in the beach and are pretty much forever stuck there. That's how much this stuff is being dumped on their shores. So this is her. She's a finalist. There you go. She's beautiful. Oh my gosh. And she looks great in her outfits. Amazing. So she actually has, so this stylist actually has a circular fashion consultancy called Slogue. And she has run workshops for young people to encourage sustainable habits and a love for clothing before they become hooked on fast fashion. Oh, that's smart. That's very smart. Get them when they're tweens. So there's that moment when tweens start getting into fashion and they're still doing crafty things. They're making Taylor Swift bracelets. So I realized there's actually an amazing integral time of life to actually learn that fashion doesn't have to mean consumption, but that it can mean making and styling and dressing up and reworking and just playing with clothes, which I think people forget. And she said that the workshops were run by slow and circular fashion brands, which both employed creators and put them in touch with shoppers who might not be able to find them online among retailers. Cool. That's so cool. Let's look up her consultancy. Australia. Slogue. That sounds so much fun. I would love to go to those workshops. Where is this blank page leading me to? Nothing. Oh, there you go. Slogue and Questioning. Fashion podcast. It's thinking about it. It's loading. Uh-oh. My Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi! Am I back, please? I believe in democracy. I don't know what I'm saying. Bring me back. Bring me back. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, so this is the site. Oh my gosh, they're having so much fun. She's had circular fashion workshops as a way to take part of creative empowerment for those ready to challenge the status quo of an industry that is high end, that at its high end is cliquey and elitist, and its low at its what? Cannot talk. It says here, I'm reading here. Slogue circular fashion workshops present textile reuse as a form of creative empowerment for those ready to challenge the status quo of an industry that is at its high end is cliquey and elitist, and at its low is unethical and wasteful.
It's a thing. When you're angry, it's like, oh, yeah, let it out. Sort of a bit tricky. So I think it's like shouting. So you know, I'm not the.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and then we can just.
Oh my gosh, I want to go. I want to be a tween again. If you're age 16 to 30 and would like to join as a mentor, email. I'm not in Australia, sadly enough. I'm not in Australia. Oh my gosh, they're doing so many cool stuff. T-shirt crochet, thrift flipping. I'm jelly. Lolo festival pop-ups, team building events. Take me with you. Take me to Australia. Ugh. Dang it. Let me go to this site right here. Let's see. Let me see their Instagram. Let's stalk them real quick. Okay, so this is the stylish. Oh. She looks like she's having so much fun.
Hi, my name's Jo Gambali. I'll be facilitating the Youth Week thrift flipping event at the Inner West Sustainability Hub. So for this thrift flip event, we'll start at Replace. This is a second-hand warehouse here in the Inner West Sustainability Hub. And everyone at the event gets to thrift. So you've got to bring some cash along with you, but everything's super cheap. We'll head up to the Green Living Centre and there'll be sewing machines, mannequins, cutting tables, lots and lots of scissors and seam rippers. And that's when they'll get to reinvent clothes that they found. Here I am with Anna and Bede, who've both been to thrift flipping events in the past.
Mainly young people are still experimenting with who they are and what they like to wear. So it's good to have that freedom and not be like, you have to wear this, you have to wear that. It's better to do this because it's cheaper and more creative.
Hi, I'm Molly and I'm attending the sustainability workshop this Wednesday and I am really excited to attend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really love how at these workshops you have to think outside of the box and really think about the things that you love, and you can put that all together into this beautiful creation, and it's often so timeless because it's not just one trend, and so you get these really beautiful pieces that you can wear over and over again and they never go out of fashion.
Hi, my name's Jo Gambali. I'll be facilitating the youth.
She kind of reminds me of like PBS Kids for Sustainability. This is so wholesome. I love it so much. I love her vibe. Oh, she's empowering the tweens. I love it. Okay, and then slow_fashion is like the main site for like the events and the workshops and the mentorship. There you go. So much fun. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Well, that was fun to look at. Awesome for everyone doing that. See, there is amazing people working on stuff all over, everywhere across the globe. It's just we gotta find them. We gotta celebrate them. We gotta uplift them. Oh, and then I also discovered, so this brand is called, what is their brand? What is their brand? So it's called Cocoa Plum, and it's made by Claire Ring. And she basically recycles pill bottles and turns them into sunglasses, which I find fascinating, and it's a really smart idea. But it says here in the article that she grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and then she just had sustainability take root in those memorial moments in Missouri. And her mom was well ahead of the curve. She opted for paper grocery bags over plastic ones. And this was an inconvenience that stuck with Claire, as the paper bags didn't come up with handles, especially when unloading groceries for a family of 8. She recalls being taught the difference between biodegradable and non-biodegradable items, like why you should never spit out your gum. Okay, that's a bit extreme, but wholesome. Then she moved to the Bay Area, and then she turned her concern into action. Nice. So she opened up this brand, Cocoa Plum. And she came up with it from scratch? Dang. So she collects the bottles, she shreds the bottles, she adds colorant to the bottles, and then she melts the bottles with the colorants, and then she makes the sunglasses. There you go. And she wants to show that recycled materials work and that they can look really good. And that's her. Nice. I didn't know you could recycle bottles, like the pill bottles. I wonder how she cleans them. Does she clean them? Let's look at her website. But that's a super cool process. I feel like, honestly, if I was gonna buy sunglasses, it'd be from Coco Plum. Again, not a sponsor, not a nothing. I'm just looking at her page and being like, what are you up to, lady? What are you up to, lady? Sunglasses. Recycle here. Oh, you can actually recycle your glasses. Your what? Send back your Coco sunglasses to be recycled. Oh, so if you don't want them, you can just return them. Oh, that's nice. So how it works, they collect the recycled pill. They collect the bottles. What? I cannot talk. I cannot talk. The Mexican in me wants to speak Spanish, apparently. So they grab the pill bottles. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, it's right here. Am I dumb? Am I dumb? Okay, so pill bottles, shredded plastic from pill bottle. It doesn't say though if they clean it. That's what I was curious about. Okay, they don't say. Oh, these are so cute. $88 though. Oof. Oh, these are cute. I low-key like these and these. These two are cool. Oh, these are so cute. The watermelon ones. They're kind of pinkish. Wow. Honestly, if I needed sunglasses, these would be the ones. I love the frames, like the lens, I mean. The lens and the frame. I think that's a pretty cool combination. The lenses are RED cert certification. I don't know what that means. RED cert certification system. Huh? All these fancy terms. I have no idea what this is. What? Guys, I'm getting tired. I'm probably going to jump off soon. But it's a voluntary certification system that can be used to prove that sustainability criteria for the protection of biofuels and fuels from biomass required by the EU's Renewable Energy Directive. Nice. So it's sustainable. Cool. So even the lens is sustainable. Oh, that's so cool. Da, 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 da. They give like Kurt Cobain vibes. Have you guys ever seen the Kurt Cobain sunglasses? I was obsessed with this man when I was a teenager. Here. See? It's the Kurt Cobain glasses. I was right. It's just they're not white. Oh my gosh, I knew they were familiar. It's like Kurt Cobain meets sustainability. I love it. I love it. I want them now. I want them so bad. I don't need them. I wonder if they come in white. No, they don't come in white. These are pretty cool too. The orange ones, they remind me more of like the Kurt Cobain look. Oh, these are so cute. I was obsessed with this man. He's like the king of the DIY culture. That's how I actually got involved in sustainable fashion, through my love of pop rock and rock music. And I really liked his songs and his style and stuff. And like the whole culture of like doing things on your own, like DIYing things and like upcycling stuff and looking like your own authentic self and not really following trends. And he like just dressed very eccentrically and was a very eccentric person. So he's been my fashion icon for a long time. It doesn't really make sense to copy the sunglasses to look like him if we're going to dress authentically. But, you know, that's a whole other discussion. Oh, so cool. Anyways, so yeah, that reminded me of the Kurt Cobain glasses. Ooh. Coco Plum Co. There you go. Okay, so that is that. But to talk about other news, there has been other events like designers making paper clothing or paper collections. And what I mean is that this designer, her name is, Anzetta Clark. So she is actually making collections out of paper. She says that the West sees paper as something fragile that we just write things on and we just dispose of it when we don't need it. But she says that it's not your usual paper, so it's a longer process to turn paper into a cloth that is not only durable but also washable. So she explains that she works with the Japanese washi paper. I'm glitching out. But she works with the Japanese washi paper that's made out of the bark of a mulberry tree. Why am I glitching? Am I glitching out? Am I glitching out? Okay, so let's look up if there's anything about the Japanese washi paper. Oh. What?
$80, $120? Nope.
This swampy mush is about to become some of the world's most expensive paper. At first, hanji is barely visible, and once it emerges from this bath, it's delicate. But after it dries, Korean paper can last thousands of years. The most expensive version of a single sheet this size costs over $22. So what makes hanji so long-lasting? And why is it so expensive? Kang Kupsuk has been making hanji for 45 years. The fibers he's washing were once the bark of a paper mulberry tree.
이걸로 한 1,500장 정도 장수로 그 정도 나올 거예요, 아마.
Hanji is a versatile material that's prized within Korea. Today, it's used for everything from calligraphy to clothing. And because of its strength, institutions like the Library of Congress and the Louvre have used hanji to restore centuries-old books. The secret to its strength are these long web-like fibers and the traditional method of sheet forming. After boiling, bleaching, and painstakingly cleaning each fiber, it's time to head inside. Kang uses this machine to transform the tough fibers into a mushy pulp.
처음부터 끝까지 다 힘든 공정이라고 생각이 드는데 같은 일을 반복해서 날마다 몇십 년 한다는 건 그건 참 쉬운 문제 아니잖아요. 어려운 문제 사실.
Now, it's time to turn pulp into paper. Fibers flow across the bamboo frame and settle into transparent layers, almost invisible to the naked eye. But Kang sees what we can't. He knows the exact moment when a sheet is fully formed. After decades of papermaking, he's able to produce 350 sheets per day. The amount of fibers on a sheet and their direction determines the strength of the paper. Moving the frame in one direction aligns the grain. But the most expensive paper is made by agitating the fibers in multiple directions. This is slower, but it evenly distributes the fibers, yielding stronger paper. Each weight of paper requires a different amount of pulp, and Kang's experience is the key to getting good results.
예를 들어서 40g이다 하면 40g의 일정에 똑같이 맞춰야 돼. 하루 종일.
Careful sheet forming is important because the fibre structure determines how a paper holds up over time, especially if it's being folded. Kung says this process can take 4 years to learn. And he has to be careful because at this stage, Hanji is still delicate.
물방울 한 방울만 떨어져도 빵꾸 빵 나니까 굉장히 조심을 하는 거죠.
He uses an automated pump to speed up the process, but it still requires close attention.
뭐 다른 생각하고 있다가 아차하면 두꺼워지잖아요. 그럼 그 실수지 그게 잘못 나온 종이니까. 그러니까 정신 바짝 차리고 만들어야 똑같은 종이를 일정.
I think it's working again. Okay, let's continue. Come on, we need to learn.
일정하지.
Despite Hanji's versatility, the ingredients are simple: water, fibre, and glue. Premium conservation-grade Hanji uses a natural glue made from hibiscus root, which disperses the fibres across a sheet. This type of Hanji has a neutral pH, which is one of the requirements to be classified as permanent paper, and it's ideal for restoring old documents. In fact, one study found that Hanji aged 2 to 3 times slower than paper from medieval Europe. For less expensive Hanji, Kung uses a chemical glue. While Kung immerses himself in flowing water, the other side of the workshop is dedicated to drying the freshly formed sheets. Yoon Chungge tears the crisp, clean Hanji off a hot plate set to 88 degrees Celsius. She's been working with Hanji for 40 years.
네, 지금 옛날에는 이걸 나무로 떼서 만들기도 말리기도 했고 연탄으로 떼서 말리기도 했지만 두꺼운 한지들은 이제 온도가 높은 온도에서 좀 말리기도 하고 좀 얇은 한지 같은 경우에는 낮은 온도에서 말리기도 하는데 이 종이는 표고용으로 많이 쓰기도 하고 서해용으로 많이 쓰기도 하는데 종이가 좀 두꺼워요.
She dries paper used for conservation at a lower temperature, around 40 to 50 degrees.
낮은 온도 서서히 말리는 온도들이 종이들이 더 질기고 좋아요.
After a lifetime of working with Hanji, this process has become muscle memory. Her horsehair brush is an extension of her hand, used to smooth out Hanji without scratching it.
It's a lot of process for paper. Okay, so I probably will hop off soon just because the internet is getting iffy. I think it's going to start raining soon. I shall check the weather, see if it is going to rain soon. It is really dark out and it's barely 6 p.m. Yes, it's probably going to rain. I don't know why it was glitching. I will be working on the Wi-Fi. I am going to be actually turning to AT&T. I'm probably going to reach out tomorrow for that, to keep postponing it because I keep forgetting. I have the most horrible memory. I do hear people in the kitchen too. People were up to something, but yeah. I keep postponing what I have to do. I procrastinate everything in my life, apparently. So, the streams are just going to get better. The PC system is here. The Wi-Fi is going to be here. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what's going to happen here. But hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. Hello, Marissa. Gonna end it a bit early today. It's 83 degrees outside. Just crazy. Oh, there's a lot of wind. Yeah, that's affecting stuff. But yeah, I'm super hungry. I'm probably gonna jump off. It was a short stream. But it's a bit frustrating to stream when there's no good internet. It's just, it kind of like stresses me out. There's like this thing that I can see where, here, let me just show you. I don't want to explain it. My voice is leaving. Here, let me see. How do I show you what I see behind the scenes? Let me show you how streams work. Maybe this is helpful for y'all to understand the anxiety I feel. So every time I live stream, I see myself in a different screen. I have a monitor, so I'm watching myself talk basically. And then this is what I see. I see that the stream is error warning, but then it goes to healthy. Then it says no data, and then it says stream is healthy again. So it's like very bipolar, and it keeps doing that every focus. So it's healthy here, error another minute. It's healthy here, but error another minute. And this is happening for the entire stream. Like every other minute, it's telling me I have an error. So yeah, that's kind of messing with my brain as I talk, and I can't focus. So the live stream will have better Wi-Fi, so I don't get all those errors, and so I don't feel as panicked. It's not a huge thing at the end of the day for there to be glitches, but it's just like the errors just kind of messes with me. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong. But yeah. Yeah, it's been annoying. Marissa, thanks for hanging in there. I think it does affect my energy, and that's not what I want to focus on. So there is going to be a lot more information. There is a lot more nuance to the things that I talked about. Sustainable fashion is incredibly complex, and there's just a lot going on with the world. There is ice things like the immigration issues happening in the world right now. I know that Greta Thunberg recently is sailing to Gaza for relief aid for the people suffering there. So there's a lot happening. I can't really focus on that when there's like a lot of tech issues behind the scenes. So bear patience as always. PC system is happening, and then Wi-Fi is happening finally. It's just I've been going through it these past couple of weeks, and I'm just a newbie. But yeah, I'm excited, and there's a lot of improvements coming underway. So I'll see you guys this Thursday. The stream has a new schedule, and the energy will only keep improving. The analysis will keep improving, but stay safe out there. It is scary out there with all the things happening all the time. But most likely the streams will get longer too with the better Wi-Fi and with the PC system. My current MacBook is actually overheating. It's like actually really super hot, and as you can see, my laptop is connected with a million wires. So that's why I got the PC. It's like literally killing my laptop to stream. So hopefully you guys take care. It's a Tuesday. It's a rainy Tuesday for me. There's a lot of rain out there. And I'll see you on Thursday, and expect gaming. If you like games, cool. If you don't, hopefully it's some background music, if anything, or background noise. If you want to have some company during these weird times. But I'll see you guys very, very soon. Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are news days. And I'm excited to get even more critical and nuanced and keep bringing more analysis to the world of the fashion industry and environmentalism. I also saw there was a Hollywood Climate Summit happening in LA. Today's like their second day. Tomorrow's like their third day. So I'll be going over those summits or workshops in the summit and watch those as well. So see ya. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the first week of June. Bye. Doo-doo-doo. Ta-da. Bye, Marissa.